Hello and welcome to my channel. Good evening everybody and anybody who is watching this tonight. I just wanted to go over some of the things that we are looking at today. I'm going to be looking at the STLFlix. I'm going to come back to the purse. This evening I printed, or yesterday I printed the Draco pack. And I printed it in a color called Dark Magic. It's not quite like this one, this color that you see here in the video. The color you see here in the video has more of a blue with a red tint. The Dark Magic is not quite black, but it's almost black, almost like a midnight black is what I would call it. And then it has like a green and blue shimmer. It's really pretty. I'm going to show that to you here in just a minute. I do have a video of it on my shorts, but I'm also going to show it to you. And let me tell you, the pictures and the videos here do not show just how cute this piece is. It is adorable, absolutely adorable. And the quality that went into it and the creation of it, I watched a video on it and I could see all of the good things that they did on it, and it definitely shines when you actually see the piece. The only thing I did differently than them is they said put a piece of filament at the bottom. I put a piece of copper because I had some leftover copper wiring because I do fiber art, but I'm going to show it to you here in just a minute. I'm going to show you mine, but I wanted to go over this week what kind of things has STLFlix been coming out with, because it's been so good this week. It's been today's just Monday, but I didn't go over last Wednesdays or last Fridays. I think I went over last Mondays. I think I did one on Tuesday that kind of went over the Axolotl feelings. These are super cute when you print them. If you have STLFlix, these are the I am sure these are going to sell a lot of. They are adorable. Little kids are going to love these. These are going to be amazing. But I think I went over those last week, so I wanted to go over what was coming, because I'm pretty sure that last week I showed the Axolotl, which came out on Monday of last week, but this on Friday of last week, the Panda Tumble came out, and this was from a community idea. The community idea was educational games, so this is going over balance and gravity, and it is so cute. It is adorable. It is a game that you almost I can't think of another game like it, but there is another game that is like it where you have to balance, you place things on, and then when it topples over, you lose. So it's really cute how they did it. They put a bamboo tree with a bunch of pandas, and then the pandas are different shapes and different weights because of their shape. So it's not as easy as just placing the same piece and figuring it out. You have to be careful with what you're going to be able to grab. I'm not sure if there were rules put in here somewhere on how to play, or like if you pick the top three, but I'm sure you could make it up as you go. And it even says up here at the top, a community drop. This was requested by the STLFlix community. I really like that concept of the STLFlix, is that they listen and they also publicize and they let their community vote on ideas that they make products for. And I think that that is a great thing. They let us put in our ideas, and then they let the rest of the community vote on them. So I've talked about this before, but I'm going to go over it a little bit here, and then I'll go back to the pandas and talk a little bit more about them. But these are the community ideas that they do once a month. They have 3 categories: the toys and articulated, home and decor, RPG, and cosplay. I'm not sure if those are ever going to change. They might, but if they don't, that's okay. These are the 3 that we have for now. And so basically what happens is the community puts out all of their ideas of what they think will be that they want. And then what ends up happening is everyone votes on it. What do I like? And it looks like they added a button for trending, like what are people voting for? Now that I'm interested in, because I'd like to see what's rising. Because like this week, I know that this month they have toys and articulated, and a lot of people have the articulated dragons. And I feel like there's so many of those out there in the community already. And we already have a lot of those on STLFlix, but I guess around 527 of our members think that we should get that. And when I say our members, I am not sponsored by STLFlix in any way. My opinion that I'm giving you on STLFlix is as a consumer, and I am giving an honest opinion of how I feel about it. And that's why I talk about it so much, is because I truly enjoy them. And I feel like any company that gives you what you need or what you want, and that is good, that people should be talking about them and sharing that, because that's the best way to get information out is via word of mouth. And so that's what I'm doing, is that I really like STLFlix. I don't have a link for you to click. They don't give me any kind of commercials. Nothing that I receive, absolutely no funding for them. This is all my own opinion. So when I say we, I mean me as part of the community and as a consumer. So one of the things I like about the STLFlix is this community ideas, and the articulated dragons, I feel like they have a bunch of those already, but I am sure that some of our commercial, well, my guess would be that a lot of our commercial users are driving that up. But I do appreciate all of the other ideas, and I like that this trending. Maybe it's been here and I just now noticed it, but I don't think I've seen it before. So that's pretty cool that they have this trending, and I can see where other people are voting as well. But you can kind of see here, like this one, I voted on realistic articulated mini animals. We have a lot of those on the channel already, but I'd like to see some more advanced ones. I have another Patreon that I have, Key Creations, and Philly Foo, and I have I think it's Mike Myers or Matt Myers, but I like their articulated animals that they do. They're very well made, and they're super nice, and I've liked those so far. Those are really great creators, and I'm so thankful for them. So I would like to see some more on STLFlix as well, because I have seen a couple on here, and since they work so hard on their prints and they give me all of the directions that I need, I would like to see a few more of those. But you can vote for more than one. So I've voted for more than just this one. This just happens to be the one you see, and that's why it's green. But I am going to check out the trending and just see what is trending. Let's see. A functional vending machine. That's pretty nice. So it looks like, well, there's only 3 votes on this, but somebody's obviously like this. But here's one that's kind of moving up, and I voted on that too. I do like that. And then let's see what's trending over here. Ideas for a window-mounted birdhouse. Now that's a good idea. Large statue-style prints. I voted on that one too. I would like to see something that you could kind of piece together, like a statue of some sort, or some kind of artistic work that has like multiple pieces that makes a massive piece of art. That would be really cool. Well, anyways, here's the community ideas, and let's move on back over to the drops. Or let me go over a little bit more about this. So once a month, everybody votes, and then what happens at the end of the month is STLFlix will put within, I think it's like a week or two, they'll put when they're going to launch these and who won. So for December, you can see that what won for the keychains, or at least for the toys, was keychain minis and quick printings. And then for the home decor, we have smart holders for phones and game controllers. And then the third category for RPG and cosplay was more mass props and accessories for cosplays. And you can see what they voted for in January, which just came out, which is where the Panda game came through, is that in January, and then in March, they're going to do the idea. So they get about 2 months to after the end of the vote. Well, the end of the vote ended at the end of January, so they basically get like 6 weeks, because since this ended January 31st, this is the date that they're going to put it out. So about 6 weeks for the first one. So that was pretty good to come up with that within that amount of time, educational games. And here we got the book nooks and reading accessories. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be coming March 20th. So about once a week is when they do the community ideas, but you can see what's kind of coming. So in April, we have April 10th and the 17th and the 24th. So this month's, when at the end of this vote, this one will come out. It'll end in March and it'll come out in May. So it'll start the first week of May. So it's about a month, and that's not a lot of time to come up with a creation as well thought out as they have. So their very first one will come out during that time. But I really like the community ideas. I think that was a brilliant idea and really shows support of what your consumers want. But let's go back to the drops. So we were looking at the educational games, which says community drop right here at the top. And then they had all of the different little pandas. And so even if you didn't want to print these for the games, you could print these individually and still use those for keychains or just little things for people to grab, all kinds of little things that you could do with these. With this little arm thing over here, I thought about printing one just to hang on the top of my my monitor at work. I could blow it up a little bit and just make it where the hook was big enough to kind of sit on the top of the monitor, because I think that would be cute to have a little panda looking over the top of my monitor. You could also, if you wanted to, you don't necessarily have to use just the pandas. You could change these out, that you could print just the tree if you wanted to, and put some other creatures on there, add some some spice into it, and add some other creatures to play this game with. But I thought this was a great game. I was really surprised by it when they came out, that I thought, wow, this is really good. And I can't wait to print it out and see how it goes. It's going to be the Panda Tumble, and that's super nice. Now it makes me want to vote for some more educational games in the community ideas, because this is spectacular. So whoever created for STLFlix in their community was great. They did a great job. So let's go back to this Monday's STLFlix and drops. So this one is called the Ironworks of Armdale. This is definitely some little models. I'm not sure if these are FDM or if these are resin. And sometimes the instructions take a little bit to come out. So I don't see the instructions yet here for this, but a lot of times they will have those, maybe not right away, but these I'm guessing are pre-standard STL. The version includes all supports, pre-supported, solid model. Oh, so you got to add the models as you wish, and you got to add your own supports. So this looks more like it might be a resin print. You may be able to print this on a more advanced machine like the H2C, maybe. I don't know. I guess if you printed it bigger, but for the small one, I would guess it would definitely be resin. But let's take a look at what they have in here, what's actually in this. So it looked like it was more of a lot of mechanical pieces, which I think are, okay, so that's cool, because I like mechanical things myself. I've always been a fan of cogs and wheels and gears. I think it's so cool. So they have the Cinder Sparks Hero. I actually looked at this earlier, and look at these pieces. The detail is really good. That is really nice. But let's go back. So they have the Cinder Spark Hero. They have the ironworks. I think this rhino, now this is really cool. The mechanical, I don't know if this is a mechanical rhino or a rhino. Okay, yeah, it's mechanical. So this is a mechanical rhino. That looks really good. I'm not sure what this is themed off of. I think something that STLFlix could add, which is just an idea, is that they could add like a little box here. They have some extra space here that maybe is a 1 or 2 liner, like how this is inspired. Where did this come from? Why were they doing it? You know, like the community ideas, they could say, hey, you know, this was an educational game that was requested by our community, and here's where the creativity came from. Because a lot of times when you're being creative, sometimes you just flow, like you'll just start, but sometimes you actually have an idea that you're working with and you want to create. A lot of times when I would do my fiber dragons that I would do out of fiber, I would have an idea that I wanted to create, like a water dragon or a dragon of the forest, or I want to create a gem dragon, or just something that, you know, had a purpose. And maybe, I know there was like a time that I created like a bunch of purple ones, but they had like different kind of themes. Like I would put gold trim or, you know, gold threading on them, just something that would be, you know, creative on my part. But then sometimes as I would go to create them, you know, they would change because I would start to create it, and then my mind would like see things, and then it would expand. But still, the basis of the idea of why did I begin there was still there. And so this, since this has a theme, that might be something that they could add. If anybody on STLFlix ever watches this, but you could add like a little box here that just kind of tells people why you created what you created. So these are really good this week. I'm excited to see some little models, some little miniatures. This one I think you could blow up and just make it super nice without the base. But since they have bases, they're probably miniatures. But this one, if I could blow it up and make it bigger, I probably would print it without the base. I would just chop that base right off and just print it, because I print a lot of these and send them off to family members so that they can have them. And so it says this one is painted, but honestly with the colors nowadays and a lot of these prints, so if these are resin, you're obviously going to have to paint them, because unless you have one of, I've seen those super advanced resin printers that can print these colors. Amazing how they're able to do that. But some of the more simpler resin printers, you probably couldn't do this kind of, well, you obviously can't do this kind of coloring, but if you were making them a little bit bigger where your FDM printer could print it, you definitely could get this kind of coloring, because there's so many filaments out there nowadays that have just so many different colorings. Like I'm looking at that gray that's on there right now. There's a stone one that I recently got. Now it changes color, so you probably couldn't go with the gradient one, but they have one that has like a bunch of different, it doesn't have a high level of gradients, but just enough to where it would do some color shifting. And I think that would look really good on this here. And I get that gold. I've got that dull gold. I've got that for sure. I've got something that's labeled as bronze that looks about that color. I wouldn't call it really bronze, but it looks that color. I've got some bright bronzes and some light bronzes, but that one I think you could really just work with it and make it what you wanted. I've got some dull silvers and some shiny silvers and all different kinds of colors. And I think you could blow that up and print it really nice. Or if you got a resin printer, just print it and paint it. I like painting miniatures. It's super fun. It's a good time to get out the paints and just kind of make things come to life. I'm a big fan of color. I recently got the Bamboo Lab P2S, and that allows me currently to print 4 colors. I have not been able to obtain a second AMS, which I don't know that I'm going to, but I want to. But the Prusa Core 1 Plus is going to be coming out, or that one's already out, but the INDX is coming out. And so I'm trying to exercise some patience because I really do want that 8 nozzle Prusa Core 1 Plus, because so far out of all my printers, my Prusa is definitely just the best machine I have. In all of the machines that I've tried, which have been a lot and a lot of different brands, I've had a Cheaty, I've had Anycubic, I've had Maker Gear, I now have a Bamboo, and still the Prusa is just far superior in everything that not everything that it does, because there are some bells and whistles on the P2S that my XL does not have, but I'm sure that those things are on the Prusa Core 1 Plus. And I've actually seen those in the video. And so I'm probably going to be getting a Prusa Core 1 Plus. My husband said, because I really wanted to do the H2C, because once I went to go visit, now I do like the Bamboo. I do like the print quality. I cannot discount Bamboo on its print quality. It has been really nice for the print quality. My Prusa does a better job for print quality, but the Bamboo does a very good job. It is very close to my Prusa. It is not anything like the other machines that I have used. It is nice. I really like it. I do not like the filament waste. That part I don't like about the Bamboo P2S. Not at all. But with AMS, if I'm printing single color, it's super nice and it prints pretty good and it prints at a decent speed. But if I'm doing multicolor, that Prusa is just, woo, just a game changer. And if you got the money to buy a Prusa XL 5 head, if you can wait, I probably would get the Prusa Core 1 Plus or XL. If you need a big platform, and I know that they say the H2C is good, but I just love the XL. It is so good. But I thought about getting I think it's the H2C to see how well it does. I think that's the one that has the 6 induction heads. But patience for the Prusa Core 1 Plus. I can't wait to see how that does. I am so excited about that. I just gotta wait. But Prusa, or the Bamboo, has done so well that it has sparked an interest in me to where I would like the H2C as well. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. The more I read about the Prusa Core 1 Plus for the induction and what the Bondtech INDX is coming out, it's looking really nice. But back to STLFlix. Enough of a ramble about what my Prusa has done. But I also wanted to show today, now that we've gone over the drops, I wanted to show you the purse that I made. So STLFlix, I am a big fan, as I often say. So I have had this purse that I have wanted to print for a while. But now I'm going to be sending this out to a family member. And there have been some things that I want to print that are on STLFlix that I want. So the one that I printed was this Draco pack. In the drop, they had 8 different purses. Now, I had my family member look at them and say, hey, which of these do you think is cute? Because I don't consider myself very stylish, but they are. They've got a lot of style and a lot of class. So I was like, well, which one do you like? So they gave me a list of the ones that they liked. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go with it. So I've been kind of collaborating with them about what they want. They want me to make them a couple of other things, which I am going to be working on. And I'm going to share that with you on this channel. But the Draco pack is one of the things that the Draco pack is one of the ones I've been wanting to print. So this is the purse that I recently printed. And I would love to show you the one that I printed and the colors that it had, because I used a color called Dark Magic by Cookie Cat. I did put that in my shorts. I posted it yesterday. And I still just cannot show the quality because that mesh there isn't as flowy as some other meshes. It is it's not solid. It definitely has movement. So it's really neat how they did this mesh kind of fabric-like material, because it's not super weak like some of the meshes that I've seen, and it doesn't require any kind of cloth, because a lot of the meshes that you see nowadays that people use on some of the purses, they require a type of mesh. No, this is all 100% 3D printed, except that I chose to put a piece of copper in the bottom instead of a piece of filament. So if you put it in like PETG or something a little bit stronger, you probably be fine. I don't even think doing a PLA piece of filament would be that bad, especially since it's 3D printed. And it wasn't that bad of a print. It was, it was really easy to print. They have a bamboo profile that I print on a P1S, but I printed it on my Prusa. I even got pictures showing it being printed there, and it was just super nice. It came out so good. So let me show you the one that I printed. It was this one here. I guess I was just showing you pictures, but I printed this, and I printed it with that strap length. So there are, in the print files, they give you print the front and the back, and then you print the horns on top for this one. On the chain, they had 4 or 5 different lengths of chains. So the chain link is really solid. And the way that they did this is super nice, because when you open this, that front patch doesn't open all the way. It only opens enough to where you could put something in there and take it out, which I thought was a really neat feature, because I've seen some purses where they just fall open, but this is not the case on this one. It opens a great amount, and you can see everything in there just fully. But it was really neat how they printed it, and it came out just lovely, and the quality just cannot be expressed until you actually print one. But let me go ahead and get that ready to show you. Give me just one moment. I did a video that I'm going to show you. Okay, let me see this here. Okay. All right, let me make sure that I'm back here. Now you can, okay. So here's the purse that I printed, and I did a little short on it, but I'm going to show you that short. So here it is, and take a look. So this is the Dracopurse that I printed, and you can see that my color is different. This is the Dark Magic by Cookie Cat, I think is what it's called, and it's kind of a dark, not really black. It's more like a shiny, if you can kind of see that. But it has like a little bit of a greenish blue tint, and in the sunlight, oh my gosh, it's popping. It's got a tiny bit of shimmer, maybe a little sparkle, but not like bright sparkle. It's just enough to be just this beautiful sheen of class. And that's what you're seeing here in the light. Isn't the 3D printed color of like where you have the regular PLA that has like that glossy texture over it. That's not what you're seeing. What you're seeing is actually the sparkle and the sheen, and it's just so pretty the way that it turned out. And you can kind of see as it turns there on the edge there is more of what the color looks like. Let me see if I can get it clear since this is a video. There we go. So right there on the edge, you can kind of see it's not really black. It's more of a, I don't even know what color black you'd call it, but it turned out really good. I did not push my horns down as far as I needed to. I need to work on that. I was trying to put it together, and I'm going to try to get that all the way down in there. The horns click in. It has a, I think you call it a trevet, where it goes really thin and then it widens out to where there's a lip on it that holds it in. The clip also has a lip on it that makes it just enough where it can move, but the way that they designed the clip is so that none of the weight is actually on the clip part, so that was pretty brilliant. I like the chain that they used for the strap. That is, I felt like I was kind of concerned when I looked at the pictures on how is that really going to look. But in person, if you saw it in person, the chain is just, it's popping. It is so good looking in person. And the videos and the pictures really can't do it justice. You have to see it when you print one. Anyways, that was my most recent print that I did, and it turned out so good. And I am so thankful for that one. I also wanted to show you guys, I recently did a print on basically what I did is I took a print that I had and I printed it out, but I since I don't like the loss of plastic on the bamboo P2S, I tried the flush method. And under the flush method, under the bamboo P2S and a lot of the Orca-based slicers, they have the ability to flush into the item when you're doing multicolor. But I would have never expected to get the result that I did on this item. Now, I think it looks like hypnotizing eyes. And I don't know if I show both of them in here. I think that I do on one of my videos. But if you knew what the regular one looked like in comparison to this one, it turned out so funny. It just made me laugh. And I could have never anticipated this, but it really gave me some ideas on how to utilize the flush to my advantage, because it just printed some things that were unique. So let me go ahead and show that to you real quick. I'm going to pull that up. Look at those eyes. Those are kind of some hypnotizing eyes. You can get a better look of it. If you look at my shorts, you'll be able to see that. But let me show you this here. The eyes were so like, they look like they're just hypnotizing. And the rub-a-dub-dubs, you can rub the bellies and move the eyes, and it just made me laugh. And the family member that I'm giving it to, I think they're gonna like it because they like to carry little animals around with them in their pockets or in their hands, anything that's small and little. So I think that this is going to be so cute. And I just would have never expected these hypnotizing eyes that I ended up getting here. Those turned out so well. And it was just funny how the flushing actually worked. So I'm going to do some more experimentation with the flushing when I'm doing some multicolor to flushing into an item, because yesterday I was just perusing through the Facebook Marketplace and I happened to see someone who was selling their filament poop from their printer. They were selling 10 pounds of filament for $20. Now, 10 pounds, that's a lot of little filament purges. And that's a lot of flushes. So 10 pounds, that is about 5 rows. And they wanted $20 for it. I don't know that they're going to be able to get $20. I thought about saying, hey, I'll give you 10, and then just kind of playing around with that, because I know there is a new Creality making filament machine that's out that is I think it's a Kickstarter. And I thought about maybe just getting it and trying it out where they have a filament maker. And they also have those to which you can paint. But let's take a look. Anyways, let's go back to STLFlix because I wanted to see if they have the new thing in the STL AI. Yes, they do. Okay, perfect. So one of the new things that I don't think was here before, but is the spring minis. And I am very interested in taking a look at these because I don't think these were here before, but take a look at these. I'm not sure when these came out, but these are, you can create I do like the flexies, but I think this is a lot like a flexi, but it's a spring instead of the actual flexi. tell you, STLFlix comes up with some of the most unique ideas. How about this one? I love Grandma. That was cute. Kitty cat. Puppy dog. Oh, there it is. Here's the Flexies right here. So down here, they show a seal, which I think would be kind of cute to make some of those. Well, guys, you know, I enjoy making these videos, and I want to thank all of the people out there who are my followers and who do come and watch my videos. I love 3D printing so much. I am so into it. I'm actually trying to I want to get the H2C. Don't know if that's going to be possible because I just bought the Bamboo P2S, and I only got the Prusa XL in November, or maybe it was October or November. I got that from my cousin, and I'm so thankful that he sold that to me at a discounted price because I had wanted one for a long time, and so I'm so thankful that I have one. And the great thing about it is that it really has, I've been 3D printing for so long, but just having that XL has really just sparked my 3D printing creativity back up. I don't have a lot of spare time, and so the spare time I do have, I was doing 3D printing fiber. Not 3D printing fiber. Oh, sorry. I was doing fiber art, which I absolutely love. But my 3D printing has now taken over my creative time that I have. And I just love it. There's just every day I'm watching new videos. Every day I'm seeing all of the great things that are out there. And I loved it just as much back when I was starting 3D printing years ago, and even though years ago is a much different experience than it is today, but the Prusa does not disappoint. It is a great machine. I print on it all the time. It pretty much runs non-stop. The only time I don't print on it is when I don't have time to load a file and load the colors for it, and even then I'll try to print some clips or some things that I know that I'll need later on. But I am enjoying the Bamboo P2S, and I'm looking forward to the Prusa Core 1 Plus with the Bondtech INDX. And to all you makers out there in the world, keep on making, enjoying the world. Communicate with me, send me some chats. I love the communication that we have, and I love just having the conversations of how we all feel about different things. It's just great to find a community to which I belong and to which other people have the same kind of mindset that I do. And when I go to the stores and when I went to Micro Center and I got to talk to people who also like 3D printers, that was pretty cool. Yesterday I went by a hobby town and I was telling them about the Cheetah Max 4 and how big it really is, because that is a big machine, because they were telling me about another machine that they were using for some models that they were doing, but I was telling them about the Prusa Core 1 Plus that's coming out with the induction heads and just how I can't wait to see that. And that was just a really nice conversation to have with some people in my area. And some of the chats on my videos have been really nice. I like to just respond back and just see what people are thinking, especially people who are watching my channel. So thank you to all those out there who chose to follow me, and thank you to those who have chosen to just chat with me and just say whatever you feel. Even if you don't like my videos, that's okay too. If you don't like them, you can put that out there too. I am open to everybody's opinion, and I just like to be here, and I'm just thankful for this platform. So thank you again, and I hope everybody has a really good day. Thank you so much. You have a good night.